Like this TOYSWD crawlerpark.com course? Yeah. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to CCxRC. In this video, we're going to be showing you this TOYSWD crawler park. You can get it at crawlerpark.com. We saw them at USTE. They had a huge setup and it was amazing. I've seen them in videos online, people using these little crawler courses, and thought, I wasn't sure what to think about it, but when we got to actually see them in person, run our trucks on them, we realized these are actually pretty cool. So I went ahead and I bought one of the sets that they have. They sell these mats as well that you can lay out, and it's got like a basically an image of, you know, a crawler area, dirt, trees, grass, whatever. Pretty cool. And then I bought the 5-pack of the 24 scale obstacles here. Also works pretty well with the 1/18 scales. So we're gonna be a little careful as we cut it open because it is little like wood pieces in here that we're gonna have to work with. Yeah, and I didn't want to cut into this. It's so cool. I'll be honest, I haven't built one of these. I'm not sure exactly what we're getting into. I just know that the setup, when it was done, looked absolutely fantastic. So here's what we have in the box. You can see the different terrains that they've got, and it looks like there are assembly directions. You use your phone and it'll show you right here. It's got a little QR code. All right, so on their website, they do have good videos showing you how to build this thing. And there's different ways that you can do it for the different textures that you might do it on, as far as carpet or on one of these mats, I guess. So there's a lot of extra little parts and spare parts, but basically these are just going to push out of here pretty simply out of the wood, and we're just going to work on getting them out. It's mostly cut. You just have to break free a little bit the spots that are still connected, which they come out pretty easily. Well, pushing this one out, I wasn't even pushing that hard, but trying to get it to come free. It did snap this. I was pushing the sides and it just popped this one board, so you got to be very careful. I should be able to glue it together, and with this being held in, I should be fine, but gotta be more careful than I was. All right, you guys, we finished up the build here on the course, and I will say that it was a little bit of work on the fingers. So maybe doing them all at one time was a bit much, because you really have to push down on them really hard. On the first one, I was kind of using my knife as like a hammer on it. I realized later you really don't have to do that if you line things up right and get the right push on it. So I didn't end up having to do that on other courses or obstacles here. But we've got a lot of different fun ones that'll make the trucks flex in different ways. We'll do some test videos with it now. And I will say that I did pay the full retail price for these at the event at USTE. And so I thought that there was value in them, and you know, they're really high quality. If you think about it as one product and the cost that goes into making something like this, you know, I just saw the value there, and there's a lot of ingenuity in it, and I thought it was pretty cool. And so, yeah, I think overall it was worth it. And for me, I know that I have value with it because when I'm doing testing, these are very repeatable tests. Did I need this? Probably not. My kids really liked this teeter-totter, so we went for that. But it is adjustable. There are 2 different layers or heights that you can do the teeter-totter at. Just kind of showing a few things here. It just kind of pulls apart a little bit, and there's another set of holes. So if you don't like the really high angle, you can move this down and it'll snap in, and you have a little bit lower set, which is probably a little bit nicer. The other one's pretty extreme. It'll send your truck tipping off potentially if you don't really do good throttle control. This one, I did have a little breakage when I was taking it apart. right here, but the way that it's held together, it's not gonna be a problem. So I didn't even bother gluing it like I said I was going to. I just kind of finished it up and said, you know what, that's not even an issue. This is actually the one that I'm most excited about because it's kind of like a flex twister kind of thing. And what's neat about this one I saw as I was building it is you could actually flip these and it would change the way that it hits the different things and is gonna flex on them. So I thought that was pretty cool. So you could twist them both and do different ways and get several different variations on this particular course. What else did I notice when I was putting this together? I did end up putting the feet on the bottom of them. I said I wasn't going to, but they go in so easily. They just push into the bottom here. They have a whole different system where if you buy their little track that goes around, you can click things together. I don't think that I would do that. I like this kind of carpet mat here, or whatever you want to call this, felt, and or just even putting on your regular carpet would be fine, or just taking it and this is the way I do it and be able to move them around. I have them kind of tight right now because the table is not quite long enough for this. This is a really long sheet. It's like 6 foot long or something by 2 feet. I don't know the exact dimensions of it. I should look that up. I'll try to put that down here in the video. But yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm very excited about it, and we're gonna run a few trucks for you guys. Ideally, this is the best spot for me to be doing videos, but this is the clearest spot I had to do something this big currently. And so yeah, that's why we did it here at the kitchen table. We could run them on the floor. The thing I like about these trucks is I like being able to run them up on a table and stuff, so I'm not having to bend over, especially for filming and for just kind of playing around with them. You know, I see them more at eye level when they're up on a table like this, so that's one of the cool things about these, is just being able to put it up on your table or do whatever and run with them. So this one here, I'm really excited about. This is a really hard, steep angle, and this one, if you don't get up on that just right with them, you might have to bounce it up with some speed. Pretty good obstacle. We got the twister here, another little frame twister here that this is on. This is a light kind of twist, but having all of these different pieces will allow you to kind of set your truck up, see how it's handling, see what kind of flex you're getting from it. I'm not a super flex guy. I love what Cape Crawlers does. I think his builds are insane, but for how we run them, I'm not sure that they would work super great on some of the courses we do. And so it's just, I build them for kind of how we run them. And that's what's cool about these trucks is you build them for how you want to play. What he's doing and the way he's getting it going over rocks and obstacles is super cool. So mine, you'll see on here, is going to get all kind of weird when we get on this. That's a big dropout. So I do know that I probably need to get a little bit more flex now out of this green creep truck because of the way we've been setting up our courses recently. I would probably benefit from a little more than I have currently, where I'd kept it pretty tight before. And so that's how you just work it. You flex with things. But yeah, I don't have a lot of room on the table for the camera to go back. That's kind of why I'm crouching in here to be in the shot and explain this. And now we'll get me out of the shot and just focus on the trucks and going around the course. So let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and fire up what I believe to be my better of the two trucks here. And so we're gonna get the creep running. I just fixed it after breaking it on my home course. And you may be asking me, why do I need this now that I just built an indoor crawler course? Well, the reason that I like this is these are very repeatable. So when I'm trying to dial something in, these obstacles do not really change. The way you approach them doesn't really change. And so it'll be really, really good for that. So we've got this and we've got a TRX 4M I got from Scale Rat and Operation 11 Charlie. But first, this is my Furitek Scythe carbon fiber SCX24 base truck. Everything's kind of been changed on it. Brass trio wheels, RC 4-wheel drive scramblers. We've got the Mofo RC servo beast in here, brass servo. So it's a pretty heavy truck. We've got extended shocks, really angled out though. Running deadbolt rears for length, C10 fronts, Furitek Komodo, Furitek Lizard Ultimate. So it's a pretty dialed in truck. And it won't have any problems with this stuff. We are running flubber stuffers. So it's not really gonna have issue here too much. getting over it, we'll just get to see how it performs. It's nice and smooth. I'm actually going to change my angle on all this. I want to be able to move the camera around so we can see some of the truck and what it's doing. So there you can see it kind of flexing over that. Front wheels are down. Here's where we're really going to struggle is on this guy. I think we'll do that next. Tire rubbage. Oh, front tire, what are you doing? We are missing screws on that. That ain't good. That whole front knuckle's off. Timeout. Everything seems to be good. I think that axle is gone. At least the threading on it. Can really see it flexing here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now we're just going to back it up, go over this, because we'll probably want to do this one time. On this, the teeter-totter, which we did lower. Ooh, I'm off it. Yeah, so if you're higher, it would really throw it. So we are going to try some of these in reverse, particularly this one, which I need to move. We're going to move the teeter-totter out of the way now. Actually, let's just bring this right to the middle. It'll be easier for me to set it up. So when we were at USTE, this was a little bit of work for the kids' trucks. This, no problem. Lots of upgrades on this. However, this could still be a point where it would unload and drop off. We were okay. Let's see if this beast can climb it. Is that something else that you can try and get your trucks to do? Is get plant and just enough grip. And maybe length. If you had a Gladiator, that little bump there would be a little easier, I think, to get. I don't know if I'll be able to get it to climb this with this guy. That is pretty steep. Try to get some traction here, see if it'll pull it up. Not wanting to. Boom. Pretty cool. All right, let's see the frame twister over here. This is one of the cooler ones for sure. You'll see my rear end hanging. So there we're still twisting pretty good. Right there, I'm gonna run into a little bit of flex problem. That front end's coming up off the ground there. Rear end's probably looking pretty awesome. But enough to drive through it, that's for sure. But you could definitely gauge how far the front end was up as we were going over it. Might be able to see it a little better here. The back end is definitely lifted. Not touching back there, but you can see it doesn't really affect the capability of the rig to be able to conquer it because it has enough power on the ground to keep it moving forward. So this car, I would say, did pretty good. Now let's see what this one can do. We probably won't do the teeter-totter again with this one because we've already done it and we're just kind of getting a baseline for things. I will say the teeter-totter could be fun if you were, say, doing timed races, because it could pose a little bit more of a threat then and add to a little bit of the difficulty. But it's pretty simple to get over. Although if you did the higher one and if it knocked you over, then that might be something to judge. But this truck so far, 18th scale, a little bit bigger. It's going to be able to handle this stuff. Very capable out of the box. TRX4M. So there's definitely some reverses involved because it is a pretty narrow track. It would help, however, if I had the full length to run to be able to make these corners and have the obstacles be more toward the middle. I think we'll see how this will flex very quickly. It's going to be able to power through it though. It actually did pretty good. Let's move this stuff out of the way here. Let's move this to the front. I want to see that a little bit better. We'll watch it from the front here. So it's holding on there. Still on there. Hung up a little. Still on. All right, we're flexing all the way down here. And so we are coming off on the front with this one as well. But for a hard body, man, pretty cool. Let's go the other way. We haven't done this way with it yet. But again, you can change these pieces in here too, so that it'll flex differently. All right, we're up a little. But it'll quickly meet back up. Something's catching. Getting us off course, a little off kilter, but we made it. So yeah, these are really, really fun, you guys. Pretty cool obstacles from Crawler Park, and they're gonna give us loads of testing and tuning capabilities. We haven't done the hill climb yet. So let's see if we can go up it first. That bumper may be a problem, we'll see here. Oh, it hit, but not bad. So it's got the length. Oh, we're dragging the back end. So let's see how it does on the hill climb. Pretty good. Oh, see, the length of this thing gets it in between two little wedges and that upper body weight. So we're gonna have to hit that with a little bit more speed than we did with the weighted out truck, and it's narrow. So this truck's a little wider. You're right on the edges there. So when you have to hit it with speed, there, we can do it. It makes it a little bit more problematic, but look at that. Yeah, so if you're doing these timed and you had to, make it over this, doesn't matter if you fall and have to like come back and hit it again, that's going to affect your time. But if you're able to hit this with speed and keep your approach good, that would be tricky. So I'd probably do timed courses with these if I was going to run any type of comp on them. That would just add to the skill level needed to be able to conquer this course. All right, there you have it. The TOYSWD Crawler Park obstacle set. Set of 5 here that we're running. There's one in the back. These things are a lot of fun. Took a little bit of work to put them together. All 5 of them took me about an hour. They do have some decent videos online that you can follow to see how all the pieces go together. Very simple when you actually look at how it is. You're basically building this little base plate, which is 2 pieces on this one, and then these just push down into it. Same thing here. Trying to figure out how the base part worked when you're first thinking about it, and all these other pieces they show you. Very confusing. But if you just do it like I did, where you just take these little tongue depressor looking ones, you don't even put the feet in until the end. You just insert the little grooved pieces and then just start shoving them down on there, and then put the teeth on just to make it grip. Pretty awesome. Even this one was pretty simple. This was probably the most complicated, and I would say that the most complicated part was getting the direction of these right, because you have to make this line that's cut into this upper part match up with the side one here so that you can fit this piece in. That was the hardest part, but overall, all of them very simple to build, and I would say you probably would want to have an adult help you or be a older teenager, because some of it requires a lot of pressure. My fingers are probably going to hurt tomorrow from it, but other than that, very easy to assemble and are going to provide us hours of fun for years to come. And so I don't mind spending the money on fun, and that's what it's going to give us, guys. Anyway, thanks for tuning in as always. Have fun RCing. We'll catch you next time.